15 things are now banned at Jamaica's airports, and they are not what you think. We're not talking about weapons. We're not talking about the obvious stuff that everyone already knows. We're talking about a jar of honey, a block of cheese, a drone folded inside a backpack, a cannabis product that was purchased legally 5 minutes away in the same airport complex. Thousands of tourists are being stopped, fined, and in some cases arrested at Sangster International and Norman Manley International right now. Not because they're criminals, because they didn't know the rules changed. In 2026, Jamaica's airports are going through the most aggressive transformation in Caribbean aviation history. New technology, new enforcement, and a customs system that is no longer looking the other way. We're counting down all 15, from the ones that cost you money all the way down to number 1. The one that can put you in a Jamaican prison. You need to hear all of them. Let's go. Let's start with something that sounds like common sense but is catching people off guard more than ever. Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority now officially recommends arriving at the airport at least 3 hours before your departure. And in 2026, that recommendation has quietly become a necessity. Why? Because the biometric systems rolling out at both Sangster and Norman Manley are new. Staff are adapting. Passengers are adapting. And during any transition period, processing times vary in ways that the airport operators themselves will openly admit. Add to that the peak season crowds December through April, summer months when multiple international flights load and board simultaneously, and wait times to clear screening and immigration can push past 1 hour on their own. Miss your flight because you arrived 2 hours before departure instead of 3 and the line was longer than expected? That is not the airport's problem, that is your problem. And the rebooking fees alone will make this the most expensive lesson of your trip. 3 hours, build it in, move on. But that's just scheduling. What's next starts costing you money the moment you land. Jamaica updated its duty-free allowances on April 1st, 2024, and the headline sounds generous. Travelers 18 and older can now bring in personal and household items duty-free up to $1,000, doubled from the old $500 limit. More room, less tax. Sounds like a win. Here is the part that nobody tells you until you're standing at the customs desk. If you exceed that $1,000 threshold even by $1, Jamaica does not calculate duties on the amount over the limit. It calculates duties on the full value of everything you brought, all of it. The entire 1,100 or 1,200 or whatever you're carrying. Travelers consistently assume the math works proportionally. Bring in $1,200 worth of goods, pay duty on $200. That is not how it works here. The moment you cross the line, the entire pile is in play. Other limits currently in effect: 2 liters of alcohol duty-free, but 0 liters of Jamaican rum, because Jamaica protects its rum industry by refusing duty exemptions on locally produced spirits, even when you're trying to bring them back into the country. Tobacco, 200 cigarettes, or 50 cigars, or 230 grams of processed tobacco, one of those 3, not a combination. Cash or traveler's checks totaling $10,000 or more require mandatory declaration. Fail to declare and customs can seize the funds entirely. Know your numbers before you pack the receipt. Number 13 is one that people think they've heard before, but they're about to find out they missed the important part. The 311 liquid rule has existed since 2006. 1 transparent plastic bag, 1 liter capacity. Individual containers no larger than 100 milliliters each. Most experienced travelers think they have this handled. What most of them haven't caught is that powders now carry their own separate restriction adopted from TSA standards and enforced at Jamaica's checkpoints. Any powdered substance over 340 grams must go in checked luggage, not carry on. That means loose powder makeup, ground or instant coffee, protein powder, spices, any granular substance above that weight threshold. Baby formula and medically prescribed powdered medications are exempt. Everything else follows the rule, strictly. The confiscations happening right now aren't because people are trying to smuggle anything. They're because someone packed a bag of coffee from home or a cosmetics pouch and didn't know the powder rule existed. That bag gets pulled at the checkpoint. and it does not come back. Charge your electronics too, because a device that won't power on at the security checkpoint will not be permitted past it. That rule has been in place since July 2014. Following specific intelligence about concealed explosives in electronics, officers can ask you to turn on any battery-operated device, laptop, phone, camera, tablet. Dead battery means the device stays behind. No exceptions, no appeals. Now we get into the rules people genuinely didn't know existed. Number 12 is going to surprise some of you. Section 13 of Jamaica's Customs C5 declaration form requires travelers to declare all products of animal origin, and the definition of animal origin extends far beyond what most people consider when they hear that phrase. Yes, it covers meat, dairy, fish, but it also covers eggs, taxidermy items, mounted heads, horns, tails, feathers, pet food, feed supplements, veterinary medicinal products, and reproductive materials including semen, embryos, and agricultural eggs used in research. Personal imports of animal products are permitted up to 45 kilograms total, but only when properly declared, arriving in original sealed packaging with documentation indicating country of origin. The requirements can be adjusted at any time based on international disease situations, which means what cleared customs last year may face new restrictions this year. When in doubt about whether something needs to be declared, declare it anyway. The penalty for failing to declare can include confiscation, fines, and in serious cases, criminal charges for attempted agricultural smuggling. That is not a charge that disappears quietly. Number 11 catches people who think the sharp objects rule is simple. It isn't. Knives of any length are prohibited in cabin baggage, with the sole exception of rounded butter knives and plastic cutlery. That includes pocket knives, multi-tools, kitchen knives, box cutters, utility blades, and razor blades not enclosed in safety cartridges. Scissors with metal-pointed tips are banned even when the blades measure under 2 inches. But the list doesn't stop at blades. Axes, ice picks, saws including battery-powered models, screwdrivers except the tiny ones in eyeglass repair kits, decorative swords, sword canes, umbrella swords, all prohibited in the cabin. Sports equipment belongs in checked baggage without exception. Baseball bats, cricket bats, golf clubs, hockey sticks, ski poles, pool cues, and all martial arts weapons. Tradespeople traveling with professional tools, hammers, wrenches, pliers, crowbars. Same rule. Checked baggage only. Professional need is not an exemption. The confusion here isn't about intent. Nobody carrying a pocket knife is planning anything. But intent is irrelevant at the checkpoint. The item is prohibited or it isn't, and confiscation is immediate. Number 10 is where the rules stop being about what's in your bag and start being about what's flying over your head. Drones became genuinely affordable around 2018. Jamaica became one of the most visually compelling places on Earth to fly. Coastlines, waterfalls, resort strips, colonial architecture. The combination created a wave of photographers arriving at Sangster and Norman Manley with compact folded drones in their carry-on bags, assuming that declaring the equipment was enough. It is not enough. Jamaica's Civil Aviation Authority prohibits drone operation within 3 miles of any airport, helipad, or designated landing zone. That is 5,000 meters of restricted airspace around Sangster International, Norman Manley International, Ian Fleming International in Ocho Rios, and every smaller airport across the island. Jamaica is a compact island. Those airports sit close to resorts and tourist attractions. The restricted zones overlap with the exact places photographers want to shoot. Customs officers at arrival checkpoints now regularly inspect drone-sized bags and demand JCAA authorization before allowing the equipment into the country. Arriving without a permit means immediate confiscation. No recourse. Dunn's River Falls, one of the most photographed locations on the island, prohibits drones without explicit authorization from both site management and the JCAA, obtained before arrival, not on site, before you get there. Commercial operators need a specific permit for each individual flight session. Recreational operators outside restricted zones face a strict operational ceiling, 400 feet altitude maximum, 500 meters range from the operator, daylight hours only, no crowds. 5 years ago enforcement was inconsistent. In 2026, it is not. We're at the halfway point. The rules about to come carry heavier consequences, starting with one that only travelers from one country can even clear. Quick pause here, because if you've made it this far, you already know things that a significant number of people flying into Jamaica this year will wish they'd known before they packed. That's why this channel exists. We're working toward 20,000 subscribers, and every person who subscribes helps us reach more travelers before they make expensive or life-changing mistakes. Hit subscribe right now and drop a comment telling us one thing. Do you fly into Sangster in Montego Bay or Norman Manley in Kingston? We're building our next round of Caribbean content around what you actually want to know. Go now. Numbers 9 through 1. This is where it gets serious. Jamaica's pet import policy reduces to a single sentence that solves nothing for most travelers. Only dogs and cats from the United Kingdom and Ireland may be imported into Jamaica. Dogs from the United States not allowed. Cats from Canada not allowed. Birds, rabbits, ferrets, hamsters, or any other companion animal from anywhere on Earth not allowed under any circumstances. This is not a paperwork problem. Vaccination records, health certificates, quarantine documentation. None of that changes the outcome if the animal is not a dog or cat currently residing in the UK or Ireland. Country of origin is the barrier, and it is absolute. It exists because Jamaica maintains rabies-free status and enforces biosecurity protocols it considers non-negotiable. If you are planning to relocate to Jamaica with a pet, or if you are traveling with an emotional support animal, the answer to whether that animal can enter the country depends entirely on species and country of origin. Everything else is a conversation that ends at the same wall. Number 8 is one that people genuinely don't anticipate until they're standing at the counter watching it happen. Live or processed conch and lobster are strictly prohibited from import into Jamaica. That specific restriction catches travelers moving between Caribbean islands, where these seafoods are cheap, abundant, and casually packed in coolers as gifts or personal food supplies. Jamaica protects its own marine resources and prevents the introduction of diseases or invasive species that could damage local ecosystems. The restriction applies regardless of how fresh the product is, how well it is packaged, or how personal the intended use. Bringing fresh conch from the Bahamas or lobster from Turks and Caicos results in confiscation at customs. That is the outcome every time. There is no permit path for personal quantities. There is no workaround. Leave it on the other island. Number 7 is something most travelers have heard of, but get wrong in a specific way that costs them. All firearms, weapons, explosives, and fireworks require permits from Jamaica's Ministry of National Security or the Trade Board before legal import. The category covers handguns, flare guns, BB guns, and realistic replicas, plus stun guns, rifles, shotguns, pellet guns, starter pistols, compressed air guns, shocking devices, and cattle prods. The application process takes significant time. Last-minute arrangements are not possible. This isn't a checkpoint where documentation can be presented and reviewed on the spot. The permit must exist before you arrive. Legitimate reasons for importing firearms do exist. People permanently relocating, competitive shooters in sanctioned events, specialized security personnel. But the process demands advanced coordination with Jamaican authorities, proper documentation, and a clear justification that will survive review. Average tourists have no realistic path to any of this, which is the point. Number 6 is the one that destroys care packages, and it happens every single day. The UK government's official travel advisory for Jamaica uses language with no interpretive flexibility whatsoever. It is illegal to bring meat and dairy products into Jamaica. Not restricted, not subject to permits, illegal, and customs officials may search your baggage and will destroy banned foodstuffs without compensation or appeal. That word destroy is doing real work there. This is not confiscation pending documentation. This is immediate, irreversible disposal of whatever you brought, and no amount of explanation changes the outcome. This rule catches people specifically because of intent. They are not trying to violate anything. They are bringing food for family. They are accommodating a dietary restriction. They are carrying something from home because it matters to someone on the island. The customs system does not have a category for good intentions. A technical process exists for importing meat for personal use, a meat inspection certificate, a stamp of approval on all carcasses, an import license from Jamaica's Ministry of Agriculture, arranged with 2 weeks advance notice through the Jamaica Tourist Board, 2 weeks of paperwork for bacon. The process answers its own question. The item that surprises people most consistently, honey. Completely banned, not restricted, not permit required, fully prohibited. Jamaica maintains disease-free status for bee-related conditions affecting other countries, and the economic value of that protected status outweighs every jar of artisan honey any tourist has ever tried to carry through customs. What does pass? Canned or jarred items in original sealed packaging, dried and processed foods, packaged snacks with intact seals, codfish. Work within the category. Leave everything else at home. Number 5 is something biometrics cannot help you with, and it's already cost people their trips. Fresh fruits and vegetables require phytosanitary certificates from Jamaica's Ministry of Industry, Agriculture and Fisheries before entry is permitted. Live plants and seeds require agricultural permits obtained before travel. You cannot decide at the airport to declare the orange in your carry-on and expect leniency. Coconut derivatives including coconut oil and coconut soap require permits from the Coconut Industry Board, creating a bureaucratic layer for items that most travelers consider entirely benign. Dried or processed fruits and vegetables generally clear without issue. Fresh produce does not. Jamaica's supermarkets and resort area stores carry major international brands alongside strong local alternatives. The certificate process was not designed for tourist convenience. Buy what you need after arrival. We are in the top 4 now. These are the rules that carry the heaviest consequences. Number 4 is new technology that changes every single trip you take through these airports going forward. In May 2025, Sangster International activated biometric gates for arriving international passengers. Facial recognition technology developed by SITA, operated through Jamaica's Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency. Travelers pass through immigration without handing a passport to a single officer, without speaking to anyone, without standing in the lines they had queued in on every previous visit. What rolls out fully across both airports in the first quarter of 2026 takes that system to its conclusion. One facial scan at the self-service check-in kiosk creates what MBJ Airport CEO Shane Munro calls a single biometric identity. That scan follows you through every subsequent checkpoint: security, immigration, boarding without a physical document ever leaving your bag. E-gates replace passport control stations. Boarding verification is handled by facial recognition at the gate. This is not experimental. Over 200 US airports already operate similar systems: London Heathrow, Singapore, Changi. Dubai International, the global standard, has been biometric for years. Jamaica is completing a migration, not pioneering one. The practical consequence is direct. The manual process technically still exists, but it has been deliberately designed as the slow lane. You cannot opt out and still move through at normal speed. Your face is now your ticket, your passport, your boarding pass, and your verification. That is the new operating reality of these airports. Nearly $1 billion is being invested to make this permanent. $152 million in fiscal year 2025 to 2026 alone. 372 million committed through 2029, and a completely new $460 million international airport planned for Little London in Westmoreland. These are not cosmetic upgrades. This is a rebuilt infrastructure. 3 left. And we are now in the territory where the consequences stop being financial and start being legal. Number 3. Pat-down screenings resolve alarms triggered by metal detectors, and are also conducted as part of randomized security protocols at checkpoints. Selection is not optional. You cannot decline a pat-down and still board your flight. Rights exist within the process, and you should know them before you need them. You can request the pat-down be conducted in a private room away from public view. You can request a witness of your choice to observe the procedure. Officers must be the same gender as the passenger males. Do not pat down females, and this is enforced absolutely. Officers must explain the process before beginning and maintain communication throughout. Passengers with medical devices must inform officers immediately so proper accommodation can be made. Minimizing your likelihood of triggering secondary screening is a preparation question, not a luck question. Empty every pocket completely before approaching the metal detector. Avoid clothing with heavy metal content, jackets with thick zippers, jeans with large metal hardware. Remove belts with metal buckles and heavy jewelry before reaching the checkpoint rather than after setting off the alarm. Body piercings create consistent conflicts with detection sensitivity. Either remove them before security or accept that pat-down screening follows. The equipment has no middle setting. Number 2 is the rule that has the most moving parts and catches the most people who should have known better. Then we get to number 1. We covered the food ban at number 6, but the reason it earns a second position in this countdown is the specific gap that makes it devastating in a way that goes beyond losing a package of cheese. Jamaica has built an entire agricultural protection infrastructure, disease-free livestock status, marine ecosystem protections, bee population health, and the enforcement of the border is the last line of that protection. Customs officers are not applying these rules arbitrarily. They're executing a policy that the Jamaican government considers economically critical. The gap is this: most travelers don't find out about the rule until they are standing at the customs desk, watching their bag get searched. At that point, the education is free, but the food is gone. There is no warning at check-in at your departure airport. There is often no signage that reaches you before the checkpoint. The information exists online, in government advisories, in official travel guidance from multiple governments, but it does not find you unless you go looking for it. That is why this video exists, and that is why these rules are numbered, because what comes next is the one that goes beyond confiscation and beyond fines. Here is everything Jamaica wants you to know. Marijuana is decriminalized. Since 2015, possession of up to 2 ounces on Jamaican soil is not a criminal offense. You can legally cultivate up to 5 plants at your property. Licensed dispensaries operate across the island, including one called Island Strains, located a 5-minute drive from Sangster International in Montego Bay's hip strip. Medical marijuana cards for tourists can be purchased at those dispensaries for as little as $10 to $20 with minimal paperwork. The infrastructure is real. The invitation is genuine. Now here is what Jamaica does not want to have to explain to you in a holding room. The Dangerous Drugs Amendment Act of 2015 changed possession laws for activity occurring on Jamaican soil. It left international travel regulations entirely untouched. That legal gap between what is permitted on the island and what is governed at the border is where people's lives change. Carrying cannabis through a departure checkpoint in any form, any quantity, any packaging does not meet the legal threshold for possession under Jamaican law. It meets the threshold for drug trafficking, and drug trafficking in Jamaica carries penalties that include serious prison time, not a fine, not a warning, not confiscation and release. Incarceration. Jamaica Tour Base, one of the island's established tourism information resources, frames this without ambiguity. While authorities may be lenient on other offenses, drug trafficking is dealt with harshly in Jamaica. The situation becomes worse when you factor in international context. Travelers from U.S. states where cannabis is fully legal, California, Colorado, New York, sometimes arrive carrying state-issued medical marijuana cards, genuinely believing that documentation provides them some protection at an international airport. It does not provide any protection whatsoever. Airport security in Jamaica, as at every international airport, operates under federal jurisdiction. Under U.S. federal law, marijuana remains a Schedule I controlled substance. Transporting it through any international airport, regardless of state law, regardless of documentation, regardless of the amount, can result in arrest at both ends of the journey. And here is the specific trap that makes this the number 1 rule on this entire list. Jamaica sells you the product legally, creates a system designed for you to use it, places a dispensary within the commercial zone of the same airport, where you will later be prosecuted for attempting to leave with what they just sold you. The island activity and the border enforcement operate under entirely separate legal frameworks, and the transition point between those frameworks is invisible until you cross it. On the island itself, possession without a prescription costs $500 Jamaican dollars, in fines roughly $3 to $5 US, less than a parking ticket. The moment you approach that security checkpoint with anything in your bag, the legal classification of your situation transforms entirely. Leave it behind. Enjoy every legal second of it while you're there. The law does not give you a path to take it with you, and the consequences of finding that out at the checkpoint instead of right now are not ones you recover from quickly. 15 rules, from scheduling and duty math all the way down to the one that ends with a prison charge. Some of them are new, some have existed for years and are now enforced with a precision they never had before. All of them are real. Jamaica is not trying to ruin your trip. The island is investing close to $1 billion to make your experience through its airports faster, smoother, and more modern than anything you've encountered in the Caribbean before. But that same investment comes with infrastructure that is watching everything. The lenient, informal version of these checkpoints is being replaced by systems designed to catch exactly what those systems were always supposed to catch. Go prepared. Leave the honey at home. Leave the cannabis at the dispensary. Charge your phone. Start the drone permit process before you book the flight. Know the duty math before you pack the receipt. And before you go, one question worth putting in the comments. Jamaica built an entire legal cannabis tourism industry and simultaneously maintained criminal-level penalties for attempting to leave with the product they legally sold you. Is that a coherent public policy? Or is the gap itself the trap? Drop your answer below. That debate tends to run for days. We're at 20,000 subscribers as our next milestone, and we're building more Caribbean travel intelligence based on what real travelers are actually getting wrong. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We'll see you in the next one. Safe travels.